Welcome to the show. It's a Desert Rat Real Chat with your hosts, Beef and Jorge. We have a very special episode today. We are recording in person at Jorge's house.
And even better, we have a special guest, Sean. Sean is a returning guest from episode 3 on the Thunderbolts, aka the New Avengers. Sean, what the heck is going on? Why are we all here today?
Well, we're all gathered together because we're really good friends, but also because we wanted to see the comedian Nate Bargatze. And we're also celebrating the imminent birth of Jorge's daughter.
Yay! We did verify it's mine, so we're good. Yay!
Good.
I'm really happy you guys are here. Beef, what are we talking about today?
So today's topic is on the new Marvel movie, The Fantastic Four: First Steps. This is the first movie of the 6th phase of the MCU, aka the last phase of the multiverse saga. This was preceded by The Thunderbolts, which we had Sean on last time, and will be followed by Spider-Man 4, Brand New Day, Avengers Doomsday, and Avengers Secret Wars.
So, before I pass this off to Sean, it's important to note that this movie stands alone in the MCU and is actually set in a separate universe from the characters we already know. The Fantastic Four live in a futuristic world of the 1960s, retro-futuristic world of the 1960s, where the Fantastic Four are already established as the world's heroes and regularly put down small-time villains. With that out of the way, Sean, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was really good. I think for those who listened to the last Thunderbolts podcast, I think one of the takeaways, there's a real podcast when we were covering Thunderbolts last time. I think one of the takeaways was that it was a good kind of reset for the MCU moving forward. All those compliments towards Thunderbolts, in my opinion, I think go to this Fantastic Four movie, but better. Mm-hmm. I think I love the style of it. I love that they did a good job with a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
I guess the past couple have not landed very well. And actually, I didn't even know that there was a Fantastic Four movie with Michael B. Jordan playing as the Human Torch.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. I totally spaced on that one.
Okay.
But maybe that lends to how I guess it didn't do too well in theaters. So I guess fourth time was the charm for this movie, in my opinion.
Now, last night at dinner, you mentioned that you actually liked Fantastic Four better than the James Gunn Superman movie.
Oh, yeah.
So can you tell us why you liked it better?
Well, first off, I thought they were both good movies, superhero movies right now.
You heard it here first. Sean thinks Superman was good.
I think Superman, not to make this too much of a Superman review, but I thought the kind of weird pocket dimension black hole thing felt a little bit stretched. Like they spent a little too much time in Superman.
Okay, gotcha.
But they did do Superman really well. There is a specific scene in that movie. Not everyone's seen it here, so
I
haven't seen it either.
Okay.
No spoilers.
So no spoilers, but there is a scene where they stage Superman, and it actually I felt like I was looking at a hero and hopeful, right? That's the feeling you want in a Superman movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the fact that I felt that in that movie was done really well. James Gunn did that really well.
Okay.
But in Fantastic Four, I felt like the story was much more focused, a bit more contained. Family was big in the Fantastic Four movie.
Huge theme in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like not every character was given the proper amount of attention and focus for them to be an important part of that family. No one was left behind. Right?
That's correct. Yeah.
But although I've heard mixed things with The Thing, like some people wanted more from The Thing. I thought there was actually a good.
He had a bit of a love arc.
Yeah.
That kind of there. He was probably the most neglected of the four.
I suspect that whole love arc was probably subject to the cutting room because it did seem like they were trying to play into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean maybe it's something they explore in a future movie.
Yeah.
Like a Fantastic Four 2.
Yeah.
So Beef, you watched it I think the most recently. What are your
like a
thoughts
few
on the
days
movie?
ago. Again, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very clear cut, very clean. I would say the plot, there weren't any major twists or anything, right? It was just very, it was predictable in a good way, right? And honestly, going in, I had not seen any trailers or anything. So I thought, being somewhat of a reboot of the Fantastic Four, I thought they would go over the origin story again, which they kind of do at the beginning, but that's not the whole focus of the movie, right? Because usually when you expect, like, oh, new superhero movie, they're rebooting it, they're gonna go into the origins again, and perhaps they did that in Superman. I don't know, I haven't watched it, but I like how they kind of like they explain it at the beginning, but then they jump right into like, oh, the Fantastic Four is already established in this universe, like they're already well known. And so here's this new conflict that they're going into, right? So I like that sort of departure from the typical, like, here's the superhero origin movie sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they needed to go over the origin. It's kind of similar to like a Star Wars: A New Hope Episode 4. They don't show you the origin of the Empire or the Rebellion. They literally throw you into the middle of the story, and it's still a really enjoyable story. So you don't necessarily need that. And I think it's important for movie studios to realize when that matters, and when it's not really needed. You know, they could always make like a TV show that explains the origins. Yeah. And I think that would fit in well with my overall like feedback of the MCU is that the movies need to be important. They need to be critical to the overall story. But if you want to add like additional material, that's what the TV shows should be for. So if you don't watch the TV show on how the Fantastic Four came to be, okay, like no problem. Like you still understand them as characters. You know that their enemy is Galactus. Like it doesn't matter. But it's almost like a reward for the people who do watch it. They get that extra material, and it's really fun and entertaining. Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that I really liked in this movie is it was an interesting and a menacing villain. And I think the MCU has had a long-standing problem with villains where they're kind of like a one movie and done type of deal. So think of like Warmonger in Iron Man 1. One and done. I forget his name in Iron Man 2. The guy that like tries to steal Tony Stark's ideas.
Obadiah Stane.
No, that's Warmonger. Well, it's like the Eastern European guy. And he's like he has like the lightning whips. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot his
so
name.
Like again, cool villain, only seen in one movie, right? Whereas in this movie, the villain Galactus is really interesting. He's powerful, and they don't understate his size. Like I felt when that first reveal of him in his chair inside that ship, you could feel like, wow, this guy is huge. And then you really get a sense for his power once he gets down to New York City, and the Fantastic Four are just struggling to get anything on him. And they while they did defeat him, it's more of like they won the battle, not the war type of deal. Yeah. So I can totally see Galactus coming back in a future movie, and I'm really excited about that because I think he is a really cool villain. I'd love to see him, go up against other heroes. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I liked about this movie is that it's laying the groundwork for future conflicts while still being a self-contained story, and the villain was really cool.
Yeah, he's not dead, right? He's somewhere else.
Yeah,
in the universe.
And I love that the Silver Surfer is kind of like a wild card. You just don't know which way she's gonna go.
What happened to her? Did she go in the portal as well, or
I think she did go in the portal. Okay. Yeah. But the difference with her is that she can actually move fast. Yeah. Whereas he's limited in how quickly he can move. Yeah. So yes. Yeah.
So nodding to that scene, I thought it was awesome for Johnny Storm or Human Torch. He was like, what's the kid's name? Franklin. He's like, yeah. Tell Franklin that Uncle Johnny loves him, right? And he was about to fly in.
Yeah, he was about to do a moment of self-sacrifice.
Yeah, kind of reminded me of Iron Man back in that
Avengers 1. Yes, going through the wormhole.
Yeah,
that's a really good point. And actually, talking about Johnny, I think this highlights kind of that character arcs that I like to see in these movies is where everyone has like their own struggles that they go through. One of the notes that I had for this movie is like, one of the reasons I liked it is you didn't know who to trust, and not trust like in a good or a bad way. Just you didn't know what they were gonna do. So for instance, like, was Johnny gonna do the right thing or be self-interested? Because normally Johnny Storm is like kind of a hothead, and he's very selfish, and he does whatever he wants. And And a couple of times in this movie, he would kind of disregard what like Reed Richards was
Right.
telling
Yeah.
him.
He would disregard what I would consider to be like the most logical.
Right, or like the
path.
part of the plan, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in that moment, which I totally forgot about, that's true. Like he showed that willingness to self-sacrifice. So you didn't know if he was capable of it, and then he was, you know. So he had that arc, you know. Other people that I didn't know you could trust, like Silver Surfer, you know, she's gonna help the good guys or Galactus. She's kind of like that gray area, who knows. And also Reed Richards, that conflict with his wife about him being like a super genius trying to solve the problem, or him being a father. You just didn't know which way he was going to go throughout the movie, and I really enjoyed that, because it left you eager to find out what was going to happen.
His struggle was IQ versus EQ, right?
Good way.
Like, do I go with the most logical, rational route, or do I use my human side? And in a lot of ways, there's a lot of parallels to like Spock, right, from Star Trek, right, where like he had a lot of conflict with Gamora over like, do I do the most rational thing, or do I like do the thing that
Gamora, Lieutenant Uhura.
Sorry, Uhura. Yes. Oh my gosh, same actress, right?
All green people look alike. Is that what you're saying?
What's wrong with you?
It's the same actress, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gamora, they did a crossover with MCU and Star Trek, and I didn't know about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That would be a cool crossover. Why don't they do crossovers? Let's do crossovers.
That would be
Like-
crazy multiversal.
Like,
crossover.
what would be a good one that I thought of the other day? John Wick meets, like, you know, Fast and the Furious or something.
That would
Oh,
make
man.
sense. I think Star Trek into Marvel would be quite a, like, no one has superpowers per se in Star Trek, right?
No, but they could be like, oh, this is just an alien race that is imbued with otherworldly powers.
That's yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, like, because the whole thing with Star Trek is that they go and explore new worlds. They're like, look, we just discovered Earth 616.
Yeah.
Like, what's here? And like, oh my gosh, like, what is this?
Yeah.
They don't have what is it, the United Federation or whatever, but they have S.H.I.E.L.D., you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we should do crossovers.
Yeah.
All right, what would be
Yeah.
another good
Those
crossover?
future
Oh,
topics.
I'm just imagining Klingons interacting with who are the green people in Marvel that
Oh,
turn into things?
Skrulls.
Skrulls, yeah.
Skrulls.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, like, what if Batman creates a time machine and ends up in, like, Pirates of the Caribbean?
I think there is a comic where he like gets stuck. He like does invent a time machine, and then he gets like stuck in various phases of the past, and he has to figure his way out because
that's cool.
he's like a super genius, right? So
Yeah.
I think he gets stuck in like caveman times, and then he has to
Wow.
like figure out a way to get out of there, and then he slowly like goes through time, like jumps
Yeah.
through time.
Any
there's a
crossovers
comic
you would
about
like
that.
to see?
Like just in general, like
Just any random crossover.
any crossovers.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done this before in the comic book world, but a DC Marvel crossover would be
Okay.
that would make sense because it's like superpower people with superpower people,
Yeah.
right?
So I'm thinking like 2 spy movies,
Mm.
Andor and Jason Bourne.
Yeah,
Like, just somehow, you know.
you
somehow they
got
end
the
up-
sci-fi element coming
so,
in.
like,
Jason Bourne.
Star Wars is set in a long time ago.
Yeah.
But that was back in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
So maybe they've caught up, and Grandpa Andor,
Mm-hmm.
you know, could meet up with Jason Bourne, you know. And they're reaching Earth, you know. I don't know.
And Jason Bourne teaches Andor how to fight or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there you go. Back to Fantastic Four.
yeah.
That train could not have derailed anymore.
I guess. So we were talking about like character arcs, right?
Yeah.
I do see that Johnny Storm like maturing, and that being the precipice of his arc or peak of his arc, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making that decision, like, okay, he's maturing self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
The Thing did not have an arc, I felt, but I think that's okay because I thought he functioned more like the Rock in the family.
I think you're right. He didn't have a character arc, but he provided kind of that sense of emotional support, I think, and I think like for instance, The Rock and Johnny Storm were two of the characters that most were changed for this version of the movie.
The Thing.
The Thing.
What I said,
Dwayne
The
The
Rock.
Rock, yeah. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
What, all big buff men look the same as you?
Another crossover idea. Just the Rock meets The Thing.
Well, Shazam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, Black Adam.
Yeah.
So like for instance, in most iterations of Fantastic Four, The Thing is really like self-conscious about the way he looks.
Yeah.
And then this movie,
Because he just physically looks different
Yeah.
than everyone else, right?
and then with Johnny Storm, he's normally kind of like a dum-dum and a hothead.
Yeah.
But, and actually, I didn't realize this. I'd have to watch the movie again, but apparently like all four of them are like engineers or astronauts. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's why I keep forgetting that, but then I keep getting reminded of it. Like when they first took off from Earth, I was like, oh, they're all like actually really smart scientists, right?
Right.
They knew like 0.88 times the speed of light, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
Like they know all these protocols and everything, so they are all like smart people.
Because I like the fact that it's not Reed Richards having to like dumb down to everyone else.
Yeah.
He's actually getting help from everyone else. He's just like the okay, I need inspiration, and then he develops the calculations for it. But everyone else is inspiring him. It can't inspire him if they're just all really, really dumb.
Yeah.
And they made him intelligent. So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But let me talk about maybe something that I didn't like, and then love to see what you guys thought about this.
Yeah.
So obviously Franklin Richards, which is the baby, is kind of like the MacGuffin of the movie, right? Do you guys agree with that? Like,
MacGuffin, like a Deus Ex.
no, MacGuffin is just the something that they use to just move the plot forward,
Oh, okay.
right? So he's the MacGuffin because, now Galactus wants to hunt down the baby, but so that's moving the plot forward. So like, how did Galactus know that he had this cosmic power? Because they spent a lot of the movie trying to show that Franklin was normal. And I felt like they kept re-emphasizing that, just to be like, yeah, he's totally normal. Wink, wink. Don't see this thing turning later. And then, but instead, like they could have, I think, been better served trying to explain like, hey, there is something different. We don't know what it is, or maybe they just start exploring it. Because then when like Galactus, like, oh, your baby has the power cosmic, like, oh, like where did that come from? I felt like that was really weird presentation.
Plot device. Right? Yeah.
What'd you guys think?
If only, so it might have been better served if they had like an Edna Mode moment in The Incredibles where there's, baby Jack is like doing magical stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, whoa, I didn't have my powers until this thing happened.
Yeah.
He's already got it out of the...
Well, because then at least that way they could suspect that, okay, something's different.
Yeah.
But well, actually, because so when they showed up to Galactus, Sue Storm was still pregnant.
Yeah.
So like he was seeing, inside of her.
Yeah. So he did a little scan thing, and then the scan thing like focused on her belly, basically.
But why do the scan at all? Like, because he wasn't shown doing the scan anywhere else.
I think he did the scan like one other time, but yeah, it is certainly a very hand wavy moment. To
Right, and that's what I didn't like. I was like, it was a little jarring in the moment. I was like, that's kind of weird. Like,
I mean, it was like, how do you, in the character development arc, like working backwards, like Sue Storm's whole thing is really heavy focus on family and how much she cares about this baby. How do we make this baby the focal point? Oh, make the baby the goal of the enemy, right? How do we make the baby the goal of the enemy? Why does the enemy want the baby, right?
yeah.
So just working backwards, it makes sense there, but yeah, the way they got there just felt very odd. And certainly a lot of times during the movie, as an audience member, I'm like, I'm just waiting for this baby to do like a magic trick or something like that. Right? You're like expecting it in so many moments, but it doesn't happen. And the only way I can really explain it is that they want to keep building on Reed Richards' character, in that like his flaw is that he's so sure that he's right that this baby is normal, when obviously he's wrong. Or no, he keeps like, he's like, I've scanned the baby so many times, right? Like he's normal. There's nothing like special about him, right?
No. He's trying to double check that he is normal. Sue Storm is the one that says he's normal. And Reed Richards keeps like investigating, and probing.
But his tools find nothing.
Correct.
Yeah. So there's like, that whole thing could have. I did find it weird. I was like,
They're spending a lot of time on it.
Yeah, and like somehow this baby's the goal. It's a little bit odd, but I'll
Yeah.
roll with it, sort of thing.
So I didn't suspect that the baby was going to be the goal, but I did suspect they're spending way too much time trying to prove that this baby is normal for it actually to be normal.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't think it was going to be the goal of Galactus to get the baby.
Yeah.
So that to me was a surprise, but the baby having powers was not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it an actual arc in the comic books?
Yeah, Franklin Richards is known to have the power cosmic, and he does team up with Galactus. Galactus ends up destroying universes, and then Franklin creates the universes. So it's kind of like a yin and a yang.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
And so like there's supposedly this like one story arc where like they actually just like completely destroy the universe, and then like they reset it. So in comic books, whenever they're like, oh, we need to reboot like the MCU or whatever, like that's one of the ways that they'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason Doom shows up at the end, because he's interested in getting the power cosmic.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back on.
All right. Yeah. Brief cut.
Welcome back to the show. Since I don't even remember where we left off.
Well, we were talking about Doctor Doom and how he visits at the end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So okay,
Franklin Richards' cosmic power.
I'm super excited about that Easter egg. I think the Thunderbolts did a really good Easter egg with showing the Fantastic Four coming to their universe. I think Fantastic Four did a really good job with their Easter egg of showing Doctor Doom speaking with Franklin Richards. And the reason for it is because I remember watching, I think it was Iron Man 2, where the hammer showed up in New Mexico.
Oh.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't know what that is. But it didn't ruin the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it had nothing to do with the movie. It was just setting up the next thing, but it made me curious. And now I'm asking my super nerd friends, like, what was that? It's like, oh, dude, that was Mjolnir. That means Thor's, like, coming up. And guess what movie came next? Thor. You know, so the mistake that the MCU has made, especially in the multiverse saga, is all these Easter egg or cameos and Easter eggs that they do in the post-credit scenes, like, they don't lead to anything. It's really frustrating because you're like, I feel like it takes away from the movies. I think a good example would be like Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah. Charlize Theron.
Well, Charlize Theron was the Easter egg, but he also reveals to have the third eye.
Yeah.
So then you're like, wait a minute. He went through this whole movie, supposedly not letting the dark hold take hold, and now he has a third eye. So like, I feel like that undercuts his, arc in that movie. But that's not the case for the Thunderbolts or for Fantastic Four. So I'm really glad how they're managing their Easter eggs or their cameos or whatever.
Yep. Or even end credit scenes not yet fulfilled. Right?
Correct.
Not just ones that like the one that stands out to me is Venom, where he's like forgot the actor's name. He's in the hotel room and he sees TV. There's Spider-Man, right?
Yep.
Or is that coming?
Well, so that happened in Spider-Man No Way Home, I think. No.
Forget if it's that, because
I
I
know
don't think it
how-
was.
No. So it's oh man, where did that happen? I'm gonna look that up.
But it's a while back, and there hasn't been a modern Venom Spider-Man movie, right? So it's taking a while.
So that preceded.
Venom.
Okay, so that end credit scene you're talking about is in Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. And it was supposed to set up a crossover between Spider-Man and Venom, which we all thought was happening for Spider-Man 3, No Way Home, which is where you get the Sinister Six. But instead, Venom spends the entire movie at a bar in Mexico. And that was why it was so disappointing, because they set something up and then completely threw it out the window.
Yeah.
So that was the issue there.
Yeah. Just like Game of Thrones season 7 and 8, right?
Oh,
Throwing
no.
things out the window.
Oh no. Yeah.
There's only 6 seasons, right?
No, yeah. There's only 6 seasons, beef.
But yeah, so Marvel's done this a few times now, it seems, which unfortunately is disappointing for their fans.
Now, quick trivia. So, how many Fantastic Four movies have been published at this point?
Certainly a lot more than I've seen.
So, I think at least in like, is it Sony that would make some of the earlier ones? There's four that I can think of. Fox.
Fantastic Four was owned by Fox.
I think I've only watched the ones with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans.
Yep. So that was the
And
that
there were
was the
two.
original.
There were two, right?
Yeah.
They
So it's
They made
Fantastic
two
Four
with
and
those.
then Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver
Surfer.
Yeah.
And then this one. So I've only watched these three. Then.
Okay. So you're missing one. You're
And
missing the
That's the
Oh,
Michael
there's-
B. Jordan.
the
one.
Michael B. Jordan one.
When was that one?
Exactly.
So okay. So
I don't remember.
So I made a list. Fantastic Four in films. You
Okay.
guys ready? There's actually a 1994 unreleased movie. And apparently it's on YouTube.
Oh.
So part of the drama was like they would lose the rights if they didn't make a movie every so often.
Yeah.
So they made the movie but then didn't release it. Yeah.
Is it in the contract that they have to make the movie but they don't have to release it?
Something like that.
There's
I'm
like a
sure.
loophole.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then the Jessica Alba with Chris Evans, that's 2005.
Okay.
2007 was Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. 2015 is the one with Michael B. Jordan.
Miles Teller. What?
Now that's 2015. 2019, Disney buys Fox Studios.
Uh-huh.
In 2022, Doctor Strange 2 had Reed Richards as part of the Illuminati.
John Krasinski.
Yeah.
In that
Oh yeah.
alternate
It was John Krasinski.
And then in
That's-
2024, Deadpool and Wolverine had Johnny Storm played by Chris Evans. And then 2025, Thunderbolts, the post-credit scene, right, where the ship comes to Earth 616, which surprisingly, I was really worried that the Fantastic Four was going to be a multiverse movie and we're somehow end up on Earth.
I thought so too. I was like, oh, is Galactus actually going to destroy the planet? And
That-
they're like, oh,
yeah.
we'll go to this other Earth.
So let me just say this. What a great way to tease the audience with an idea and then completely flip it on its head and not completely flop. Because them going to Earth 616 doesn't have to happen during the movie.
Yeah.
It could happen in a different movie.
Right.
Right? But it's getting you excited about Fantastic Four. And that's why I was so excited to watch the movie, because I was like, what's going to happen? Like, is their Earth actually going to die? And that's actually the other thing that I was thinking about is, because this is a different Earth or a different universe, you don't know who's safe. Anybody could die. Anybody could live. Anybody could show up. Right?
Yeah.
In the MCU, they're not going to kill Iron Man, obviously, until the very, very end.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? But like, there are certain characters that are probably safe.
Yeah.
Right? In the MCU, like the whole thing is like no one ever dies. Right?
Yeah. At this point.
Yeah. I mean, at this point they have, but they
Yeah.
finished the first saga.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about this movie, Fantastic Four. I was like, it's a completely different universe. So like, who knows what could happen?
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for how they're going to tie in the Fantastic Four into probably not Spider-Man 4, but very likely Avengers Doomsday. I think my theory is that it will be a multiverse movie, and Doom is going to either kidnap or recruit Franklin, and the Fantastic Four will be following them to Earth 616, and that's going to tie in with the Thunderbolts.
So I agree with you that like it was the end of Thunderbolts was a good level of teasing. That also like during the movie, there were points where I was like, oh, are they actually gonna do that during this movie? And I am glad that they didn't. Obviously, they have this promise to fulfill, and it looks like it's leading to the point where I do think they will fulfill this promise.
Yeah.
The thing that I was, I guess, like emotionally not really tugged by in the movie was at the end when like Sue Storm was potentially gonna die. I was like, ain't no way she's dying, because at this point in the movie, I know they ain't going to the other Earth, and I know they do eventually, so she's gonna be alive in there. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, it obviously wasn't supposed to be. I don't think they were going for a huge like super tearjerker moment, but I was oh, she's gonna get revived somehow. Like
it was
she's
a
gonna come back.
tearjerker for me. I was feeling the feels, like I think what really choked me up was imagining like Raphael growing up without either me or Anna.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like they did this whole plan to save their baby, and now she had to kill herself or sacrifice herself. I was like, That's really, really tragic.
I was feeling sad when she said her story about how she had to grow up essentially without, like, her parents died in a, or like her mom died in a car crash, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like it'd be so sad if that's what happened to Franklin too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they snuck her story in there so then people could feel that sort of thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that puts another layer to the sacrifice she made. She knows the loss that she's gonna put her own son through.
Do you think it undoes her sacrifice having her like be revived? Like, does it make it any less meaningful?
I'm gonna say no, in a similar way that Johnny Storm being willing to jump through the portal and push Galactus through and show up at who knows where in the universe isn't made any less by the Silver Surfer coming in clutch. I think if anything, yeah, we needed to see some kind of superpower Franklin's, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I think I like the way they revealed his powers. You know, like you were talking earlier about like a Jack moment where it's like like walking through walls or something. I'm glad that they took a really emotional moment and like, because I was feeling that dread, like, oh my gosh, like mom just died, you know, like, and I'm really glad that Reed Richards wasn't able to like just pound on her chest and she's like,
yeah,
you know, because I hate those moments in the movies. I'm glad that he
Certainly
wasn't
overdone,
able to like whip out a technology and be like, okay, if I use this like science, she'll come back to life. Like, she was really gone, and then only someone with the power cosmic like Franklin Richards was able to actually bring her back to life, and I think that highlights his level of power, and I think it validates why Galactus wanted the baby in the first place, right?
Yeah,
we've never seen
ha-
resuscitation, right, in the MCU.
Rocket Raccoon. I was just thinking about Guardians of the Galaxy, the third one. Rocket Raccoon on the
But
table.
he wasn't dead.
Not dead. Well, his heart stopped. I just remember that gut-tearing scream of Peter Quill. Oh, but yeah, Rocket Raccoon just comes back.
I guess it's hard to tell, like, to what degree she was dead. Like, how dead was she, per se? Like, would you say...
I think she was gone.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and so some of the questions that I have, will they explore, like, there being any negative consequences? Kind of like in Doctor Strange, where they're like, hey, when you dream walk, you're like, it's like an aversion against nature or something like that, and there's always a consequence or whatever. Like, I wonder if that's gonna be addressed.
Or like the Loki TV series, is that now a new timeline, right?
Yeah, there could be another timeline. Yeah.
Or is that a canon event?
Here's an interesting idea. Why don't you tie in the idea of the Void from the Thunderbolts with her dying? So then when the Void sees her, he's like, I can see everyone's darkness, but not yours. Like, there's something different about you.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's because she's died and come back, and maybe that somehow affects her, you know, afterlife or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think it'd be really interesting for them to explore that. But I like the scene other than the fact that the baby was very CGI.
Yeah.
Unavoidable. The baby just didn't look right.
The scene also had to be there again for the Reed Richards moment, right? Like they had to show a limitation of like his whole character arc. Like what is something that cannot be solved through science and logic?
Life and death.
Right? Yeah.
Well,
like at least for now. But
at least for now, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically in Avengers, like they solve life and death through time traveling through science, but yeah.
I don't know that this is really going to play into the MCU version, but in the comic book version, one of the motivators for Doctor Doom is that I guess his mom dies or is taken by the devil or something like that. So he's on a quest to bring her back. So Franklin Richards just showed that he can bring somebody back to life. That could be of interest to somebody like Doom trying to bring back his mom.
Yeah.
You know?
I know nothing about Doctor Doom. Does he have a PhD? Is he a real doctor?
So he is a real doctor.
Oh, okay.
Not I don't think he's a medical doctor.
Okay. Does he have a
but
license?
Doctor Doom is one of, if not the most smartest man in the world. So he rivals Reed Richards.
Okay.
But they're just kind of like polar opposites. Whereas Reed Richards wants to apply for good, Victor Von Doom tends to be like he wants to be the hero of the story, but it has to be his way or the highway type of deal.
So let's say he was on a plane and someone started having a heart attack and people were like, "Is there a doctor on the plane?" Would Doctor Doom be like, "Yes"?
He would probably know that. Well, if you take the coffee maker there from the airplane and combine it with this cookie over here, like we'll use these ingredients to simulate, some sort of medicine, and like he would probably be able to figure that out, or he'd have a gadget in his pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would be that type of person to be able to solve it because it's so easy.
Well, I'm looking forward to the movies with him in it.
Touching on Doctor Doom, part of me wonders. I think we lost something, or part of me thinks about what could have been. Right, with the Robert Downey Jr. reveal as Doctor Doom just being during one of the
Comic-Cons
promos. Yeah. I imagine if this end credits scene actually showed RDJ's face in it underneath the mask.
Oh yeah, it would have been way more impactful, in my opinion.
I disagree, and here's why. Because I think the general audience probably doesn't know that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Doctor Doom.
Really? I think the general. Well, I guess the three of us are not.
We would
not be considered the general audience, no, even though I don't consider myself like a huge MCU nerd. But yeah, I would be curious.
Consider that most people watching the Thunderbolts don't know who any of those characters are because they've never seen the TV shows.
I feel like that's different though, because Robert Downey Jr. is very recognizable. Like
no, but they would. What I'm saying is it would cause confusion. They'd be like, Iron Man's back? Like, so they wouldn't know that it's Doctor Doom. They would think it's Iron Man. Like,
okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's my point. I see it. Yeah. So they saw him at the end of Fantastic Four. They'd be like, "Oh, it's Iron Man."
So yeah, I don't think it's any small secret that Robert Downey Jr. is back as Doom. But I think it has to be presented in the right way, otherwise people might get confused.
Yes.
And I think part of that has to be probably very early in the Avengers Doomsday. They're going to explain like, hey, this is not Tony Stark. This is Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, they'll have to do it.
Ronnie Bark.
In a way. Yeah.
Who?
Ronnie Bark.
Who's Ronnie Bark?
I don't know. Not Tony Stark.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
When is that coming?
It is great question. I think it's next year.
Okay.
Let me double check.
A ways away.
Avengers Doomsday, May 1st, 2026.
All right. Well.
So Raphael will be very close to his birthday. So
yeah.
I will go as his birthday gift.
To yourself.
To myself. For him.
Yeah.
I didn't catch this, but when we were talking about Fantastic Four after we watched it with the group down, with the friends group down back in Tucson, apparently during the movie there's a couple shots of like the UN gathering, and you see the Latvia, or I'm sorry, not Latvia, Latveria, which is
is missing.
Is missing,
right? Yeah.
It's not the UN; it's the Future Foundation, which actually, one of the reasons I like the movie is because they kind of create this world, and I was like, wow, like I'd really love to live there. Like, there's no more military, no more conflict. Everyone's kind of like on the same boat. I really like that world. It's not a realistic world,
right?
But I really like that. I was like, wow, imagine what it'd be like living there, And that's one of the things that I liked about this movie is just it made you kind of have those feels of like, oh, like this is not our world. This is a different world. Imagine what it'd be like, and that sense of wonderment. So I really like that.
The retrofuturism combined with the semi-utopia-ness of it was very cool.
I got the sense that in this world no one gets cancer because it's been solved
by Reed Richards, or something. Yeah. No, I mean,
I really
certainly it would be great to live in a world where the pseudo world leaders, being the Fantastic Four, are ethical people.
And they actually, the nations were actually able to collaborate and build those structures.
See, but you just mentioned something about like the world leaders being the Fantastic Four being ethical. This just made me think of, remember the Sokovia Accords,
Yeah.
where the Avengers were debating whether or not they wanted to be under their own control or government control.
Yeah, that was the whole conflict there.
I
right?
wouldn't it be funny if like eventually when they meet, they're just like, what do you mean the Avengers weren't in charge? Like the Fantastic Four were in charge and it worked out great, you know? And they're like, well, you know, like it'd be cool to see that culture clash of just like, I don't understand, why would you do it your way? Your way sounds stupid, you know? Like,
yeah, it would be cool when, you know, in the follow up to sort of see that, like what it's like when the Fantastic Four arrive. And how they see like how different it is and how superheroes are treated differently.
Would you think you could live in a world where it was actually like run by superheroes?
It is kind of scary though, right? Because superheroes are still humans. Yeah. They're still, you know, they still go through emotions.
Well, what chance would you have against like say Galactus without the Fantastic Four?
I wouldn't have a chance.
Right. So like, would you be okay with saying, okay, I'll give them that leeway of being in control in exchange for some protection?
So the first season of Legend of Korra explores this really heavily, right? Because they live in a world where some people have these superpowers where they can control the elements, but like a vast majority of the population don't have these powers, right? And some people use it for good, some people use it for bad, but it's come to a state where the government needs to be ruled by these people that have these powers, just by de facto, like they, you know, they can defend themselves against the bad people that have these powers. But that whole season explores this, and they have some sort of rebellion uprising of what they call non-benders, people who don't have these powers, and they want to basically equalize everyone. So they find some sort of messiah who can remove these superpowers from these people, and so that's the whole conflict of that whole first season. So they explore this pretty heavily in that one. But imagine a world in the MCU where someone has a superpower where they can remove the superpowers of other people.
I'm thinking that's already been done with
probably
Baron Zemo.
I don't know who that is.
Well, Captain America: Civil War, right? The bad guy is pitting Iron Man against Captain America because he doesn't believe in anyone having superpowers.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Yes. So Baron Zemo, his whole deal is trying to level the playing field.
Yeah.
And
he was not super successful, but yeah, that was his like
no.
ideology,
To the contrary, he was successful. I think if he had not torn Captain America and Iron Man apart, it is possible that the initial invasion by Thanos and his forces would have failed. Because the whole premise of Infinity War is that Iron Man's in one spot and Captain America's in a totally different spot. It was a splintered world.
if they were united, it would have been different. Yeah. I guess it's really hard to apply this sort of thing to the MCU, where like in reality, like you could argue Tony Stark has superpowers, but like who was it? His friend who, you know, just put on the super suit or whatever. Oh,
Rhodey. Yeah. War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine, right. So like in this sort of world, like anyone can put on that suit and kind of, I mean, obviously you need like reflexes and whatnots, but they kind of show that like any military trained person could put on the suit and be pretty effective as a quote unquote superhero.
I guess Tony Stark's superpower is his genius.
Yeah, his genius and his calculation abilities, right? Yeah, that's his true superpower.
Yeah, and I think that's been in part passed on to Ironheart. She's in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and now she has her own TV series, Ironheart. What she doesn't have is disposable income, so that in itself is another superpower.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, when you don't have to worry about those other things.
I don't know. I mean, it's obviously not a realistic question, right? We don't have superpower people.
Yeah.
But I think if we did, it really just goes down to their ethics and their character. You know, like, if it was the Fantastic Four, sure, but it could just as easily be the boys.
Yeah, very much so.
I wouldn't want that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's already scary in our world nowadays with people with no superpowers coming to power, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, delicate balance there when you affect so many lives of people, right?
Changing topics though, unless you guys had something else. Yeah.
No?
I guess one weird scene was when Galactus was stretching Reed Richards.
Mhm.
I
That
thought
was
he
cool.
would stretch more.
No, I
thought it would
you're
be
saying
like-
his Reed Richards abilities.
I guess I was surprised that he didn't stretch all. I thought Marvel
continue stretching.
Yeah, like I was surprised by that choice because I thought Marvel would take advantage of kind of slapstick potential moments like that, where they could have Galactus stretches like, huh, right? I didn't.
I like the fact that they put limitations on his power and also Sue Storm's powers. Because she was struggling to, and she was getting tired, you know. And
During the
I
fight.
really felt that he was gonna snap like a rubber band. Like I thought that was a really cool moment that he wasn't just completely indestructible because he could stretch on and on and on forever.
Okay.
So I really like that.
I do felt like because of his character development, they focus a lot more on his genius versus his like emotional side, as opposed to showcasing his superhero abilities, which they did very little of. I feel like in the movie, which I'm not criticizing it in any way, but certainly it was not at all very heavily highlighted.
Yeah, and I think it worked for them.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
I did want to mention real quick the music composer Michael Giacchino or Giacchino. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. He did the music for the soundtrack, and I really like the soundtrack for Fantastic Four. It's got a real like catchy melody to it. He also did The Incredibles, Up, Inside Out, Jurassic World, the Star Trek reboot movies, Rogue One,
The ones with Chris Pine.
Yes, Rogue One, The Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Oh.
So,
And Andy Serkis
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
as Alfred.
yeah. So I think he did a really good job. Did you guys like the soundtrack, or what were you guys' thoughts on that?
So I don't come from a musical background. Like I don't have the musical training that Sean does. So perhaps Sean has a different take on it. As a casual, like what I would consider to be a casual viewer, like just watching the movie, the soundtrack was definitely pretty good, but it wasn't like the thing that I was paying like attention to, right? Like
Yeah.
a good soundtrack, like obviously like Jurassic Park soundtrack, like original soundtrack, like when you hear it, you recognize it. Harry Potter, right? So like John Williams, right? Like even after the movie, if you played the Fantastic Four soundtrack for me right now, I would probably not be able to be like, hey, that's Fantastic Four.
Oh, I highly doubt that. 'Cause
Really?
One of the memes is that all the commercials for Fantastic Four, it's just a bunch of people yelling Fantastic Four on repeat.
Huh.
Yeah, so here, let me demo this for you.
I don't think
real
I
quick.
would be able to like I don't remember what the melody or
No, yeah.
like if you showed me 5 soundtracks in a row and one of them was Fantastic Four, I probably would not be able to pick it out for you. Perhaps
I'll just give you the very end of it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, sure.
So-
I mean, if they're yelling it,
they're
yes.
literally yelling Fantastic Four.
If they're yelling it at me.
So the funny thing is, like, the soundtrack version of it only has them saying Fantastic Four, I think, once or twice or something like that.
Yeah.
But just look up any of the trailers. It's literally like the entire trailer is just Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny the way they did it for the
I would
trailers.
argue that yelling though is not pivotal to how good the soundtrack is, right?
Well, no, but also consider that they do a lot of yelling / singing in like the Phantom Menace, the duel with Darth Maul, and I think that chorus really makes that particular soundtrack like shine.
Yeah, no, it gives you goosebumps.
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
Obviously they're not yelling the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do.
Yeah. Well, you studied music more. Like, what do you think of the soundtrack?
Yeah, it's Sean's, just for everyone to know, Sean's vocal range is G1 to G7 for
Oh,
the
gosh.
record.
I don't know what that means.
Show us a G1, Sean.
It's a G negative one. I'm actually singing. I've been singing it throughout this entire interview right now. Actually.
We just haven't been able to hear it.
Along with those Mongolian like harmonic tones. So I've also been nailing that G26.
Yeah, I think a G7 can like break glass or something like that,
Oh,
right?
Lord. You do
I can also break glass.
You do some like
Just not with my
Gregorian
voice.
chants, you know.
Oh yeah. The kind that you feel, you know. You get whales.
So what do you think of the soundtrack, Sean?
Oh, I thought the soundtrack was really good, but I also kind of there's not like that motif that. Well, I mean, now that you play like Fantastic Four, right? That's a strong motif. I thought the music was really good when I was there in the theater listening to it. Right? It's not like John Williams where there's that. We were talking about this the other day. There's those themes that stick with you. Like you hear the Olympics opening, everyone's heard that, or you hear Superman's theme, everyone's heard that. But yeah, just in that small soundbite that you played, it matches what's being presented on screen very well. Right, this retro future.
Yeah, the retro future.
Well,
I when you started playing that, I was like, this sounds like Jetsons to me. Like I'm feeling like a Jetsons
Yes,
sort of vibe, right?
yes. I think that he did a good job with that. Yeah, I think the motif of the song is catchy for me. I can see where a lot of people will hear it, not really recognize where it's from. But I appreciate the fact that it has a motif at all. I can't think of any other movie in the MCU that has like a theme song other than the Avengers. So the Avengers has a theme song.
It's that dun, dun, da, da,
Yes,
da, da.
exactly. I can't think of any other one, and I think it's a missed opportunity. Like when I think of Star Wars, John Williams did such a good job, and in part it also helps that I've seen this movie like a gazillion times. I can listen to the soundtrack and tell you what part of the movie we're in. You know, and they're catchy. People can like hum them, you know, or whistle them. You know, and I'd love to see that more in the MCU. I think a really good soundtrack, it helps elevate the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess. I guess the sound is really good. I guess there's not a melody that I can whistle. Fantastic Four.
That is the Fantastic Four motif. Yeah. Here, I'll play you
Let's play it
the
again.
snippet a little bit, but it's that motif.
Don't play too long of a snippet because we might be DMCA'd over here. I don't know. I might have to cut out this audio.
Okay. And just like link.
Yeah.
Ding 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 ding. As part of it, and then. Right. Dun, 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 dun. You know?
I feel like I need to. I'm gonna watch the movie again just for the soundtrack.
Yeah, I think it. You know, when I think of the Fantastic Four, that's really the only soundtrack that I can hear in my head. Whereas with Star Wars, you can hear different themes. You know, you got the Force theme, Yoda theme, Han and Leia theme, like. So it's not as it's not as extensive as Star Wars, but the fact that they have at least one and that I can hear it in my head, might not do a good job whistling it or humming it, but I can hear it in my head. Like I really like that. I want to see more of that. Like I think it'd be great. Oh, actually, you know what the other one that does? Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange and Wakanda and Black Panther both have their themes. When you see those characters walk on stage or on screen, you'll hear like the drums and the flutes of Black Panther, or you'll hear like the guitars of Doctor Strange. Like it's a very mystical sound. You know, like that's what I want to see. Like I want to see each character have their own theme. That if you're watching the movie and you close your eyes, you can just listen to the music and be like, okay, Hulk just walked on, and here's Thor, and I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Oh, he also wrote for Rogue One.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think in a way, Michael is going to be a spiritual successor to John Williams. I think he's trying to do that. And I really like his work. I appreciate everything he's done. I just like John Williams so much. I feel like that's gonna be a hard bar to
I mean, maybe
achieve.
in like 20 years he'll
Yeah.
reach that legendary status. But yeah.
So with what's coming up in the MCU, is there anything that you're particularly excited about?
I mean, certainly, now that you've told me about Victor Von Doom, some more stuff about him, especially with the connection to Fantastic Four. But I am heavily curious, like, why is Fantastic Four in the end credit scene of Thunderbolts, right? So, like, I want to see, like, where that connection comes in, how they do the interaction between them. I am going to miss the retrofuturism world of Fantastic Four, right? It was kind of nice to step out of the normal like world that
Of the MCU.
Into this other world that has very pastel-y contrasting colors. It's got like they could certainly explore more with like Subterranea, right? Like some more stuff there, but it looks like we're potentially leaving that world here very shortly.
Well, man, this is where I think like the MCU has had opportunities and they missed out. Like Thor, for instance, was a step away from the MCU in the sense that it's on a different world. So they get to live in their own culture, their own color palette.
I like that.
Like, I want to see more of that, right? I think Doctor Strange kind of did that because now he's in, was it India that he went to?
Kamar-Taj.
Well, the Kamar-Taj is like the palace, but is it set in India or is it just they don't really say?
I think it was like the India or Tibet area.
Okay, so he's somewhere else in the world that we're not kind of used to, right? Mm-hmm. And I'd like to see more of that, and hopefully, this fantastic world they don't get rid of it. I hope it comes to 616 and then they go back to their world.
It'd be cool
and then,
to come back to
and
it.
then just do other
have their own other Fantastic Four movies, that are just Fantastic Four.
I think the audience would appreciate that because then you feel like you don't necessarily have to pay attention to everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Because it's not just in one chronological order. They're just different pockets of stories. So I'm really excited. So if you're excited about Doom, okay, I'm particularly excited about seeing these characters start to come back together. Mm-hmm. My concern is, I feel like a lot of them have been, we're not very invested in them, right? So like the Thunderbolts have had one movie.
Yeah.
The New Avengers have not yet, or actually they are the New Avengers. So like the Captain America Avengers have been referenced off screen, so we don't really know who they are.
Yeah.
We haven't seen them work together. So I feel like everyone's going to get thrown together and you're not going to be heavily invested in them. I say like Infinity War where like you love the Guardians of the Galaxy and then they run into Avengers, you're like what's going to happen between these two? And I don't think you're going to have as much of that. So I'm really nervous that the movie Avengers Doomsday is going to fall flat because of that. I'm scared because I want it to be really good, but I'm worried about that.
I do feel like, that meme from Toy Story where Andy like drops the old he drops like Woody because he's interested in Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
I feel that right now with like Fantastic Four, where like I think Fantastic Four is like the new shiny thing that I'm most interested in right now.
Yeah.
Like Thunderbolts in comparison, I'm like, about them, like not so like I want to see more. Like I want Fantastic Four to be more heavily showcased in the future movies.
Okay.
With the crossover in Avengers than the other things, which is sad to say because the other things have set up more for like Thunderbolts being the new Avengers, right, and whatnot. Right?
I mean, I'm okay with that. And I would say the other franchises that I'd love to see them kind of focus in on is Shang-Chi. I think it's an absolute crime they haven't.
Are they bringing? Is there anything planned for that?
I'm sure there's going to be a Shang-Chi 2. I'm pretty sure he's going to be.
When?
I don't know, but that's why the MCU messed up.
It's been like 3 years since Shang-Chi 1 came out, right?
No, way more than that, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It just feels like it's been a while, right?
It's 2021, so 4. Okay,
4 years.
Okay, 3 to 4 is not as big of a difference as I thought.
But that's a long time to not have like announced any.
Like he's a character that I like. it's a new character. They should have made him like almost like the new Iron Man, like the because Iron Man is almost like the through line in the MCU phases 1 through 3.
Yes, yeah.
Shang-Chi could have been that for the multiverse.
Yeah, they need someone to sort of be that.
Because how cool would it have been if he's like, so he discovered that there's different dimensions, right? Because he went to Tao Lo. How cool it would have been if like Doctor Strange shows up, is like, okay, so I heard you can travel dimensions now. We need to talk. You know, like, and then they team up because, well, you know, Doctor Strange thought he was the only one that could do this, and then America Chavez shows up. Now Shang-Chi is there. Now they have 3 people who can travel different dimensions. They could go on missions together. Like, that is the cosmic or the multiverse Avengers. Like, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
And
Shang-Chi, I'm trying to remember where they left off. I'm remembering an end credit scene where they were inspecting these 10 rings. And
Yeah,
this
with
is ancient.
Captain Marvel and Benedict Wong. Or whatever,
Wong and Hulk.
Oh, Bruce
Yes,
Banner
yes,
was there.
Bruce
So
Banner.
Bruce Banner, yeah.
And then the movie that followed was The Eternals, I think,
Yes.
which were these.
It wasn't.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
this, I just remember a tie-in of this notion of, oh, these 10 rings are an ancient weapon. Oh, the Eternals.
Oh, is that the actual tie-in?
I thought, but there was no.
There
tie-in.
was also-
so that supposedly this was tying to like Kang the Conqueror.
Oh, yeah, because I
Supposedly.
thought that's right. Because I watched Ant-Man, Quantum World or something.
Quantumania.
Quantumania.
Quantumania. I almost said Quantum Menace, but that's another collab. But I remember, yeah, like Kang's weapon machine thing had a bunch of rings spinning. I was like, oh,
Yes.
is that gonna be the same tech? But yeah, nothing's.
From what I understand, the closer tie-in is that the rings are related to the bangle that Miss Marvel has. But that's a TV show. So, like, again, this goes back to the mistake that MCU is making. They're putting some very important plots between TV shows and movies, which they should not be doing in TV
Causing
shows.
fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that post-credit scene did not pan out at all whatsoever.
And then also speaking of Eternals had some post-credit scenes that are also yet to be fulfilled.
100%, yeah.
Oh.
I think the closest tie into that would have been Thunderbolts, because they finally addressed the fact that there was it's not the Eternal,
Titan?
the Celestial.
Yeah,
the Celestial hand was sticking out of the earth.
Yeah, but wasn't there something about a sword and Kit Harington?
Yes,
or
so
whatever?
that's supposed to tie in with Blade, but then Blade has been like indefinitely postponed.
Yeah.
So like,
There's only one Blade. There will only ever be one
yes,
Blade.
that I feel like he was directly addressing the issue with Blade. Yeah, the management of these like post credit scenes has been abysmal, and I really hate them for it, because it's frustrating that I feel like it used to be purposeful. You know, Iron Man 1 had Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Then Nick Fury shows up in Iron Man 2 and in Thor.
Yeah.
So like you can see the through line. You can follow the story. You're not there's not so much guesswork.
Well, you know what's happened is you've been betrayed, because
have
they
been
built up
betrayed.
this trust over like a decade of they followed through with every post-credit scene.
Yeah.
And then in the past 5-6 years, they've really fumbled like
All of them.
80% of them. It feels like, or if not all of them. So your trust has been broken.
It has.
And bringing that trust back is difficult.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
I
and
think
we're here for you, Jorge.
I think lucky for them, I'm a bit of a fanboy, so I'll still show up.
you're in an abusive relationship.
But I honestly don't advocate for the MCU as much. Like I when I do movie marathons, I'll tell my friends, just skip Eternals. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
A lot of the TV shows, I'm just like, I guess you don't really need to watch most of the TV shows either.
Yeah.
You know, so like, that's not good. Like, Marvel should want me to be advocating people like, dude, you need to watch like everything.
Yeah.
And now I don't do that anymore. You know.
Instead, you should be telling people to watch The Residents.
Oh, I've been telling them to watch the Desert Rat Real Chats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Watch that first.
Actually, The Residence does look really good. I want to
Oh,
finish
man.
that for sure.
Yeah. Is it finished? Like,
Yeah.
Is it okay? It's all complete.
Well-
if I want to binge it now, then I could.
there is a resolution by the end of 8 episodes. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think the sequel would be like Buckingham Palace, or like just,
pinnacle.
like every head
The
of
temple.
state,
Yeah.
gets their own
Murder scene in their
Yeah.
in their home. There's a trend here.
There's a lot of murdering going on.
Yeah. Anyways, any final thoughts then on Fantastic Four?
MCU, if you're listening, thank you. I said during our Thunderbolts episode that I wanted a movie that stands on its own, that you don't have to watch homework, right? And I think you can honestly watch Fantastic Four not to haven't seen any other MCU movie,
Correct.
and enjoy it.
Yeah.
It made me think of like Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the Iron Man 1 of the multiverse saga, which is really sad because this is phase 6. And I don't think phase 4 or 5 had a movie like this. Shang-Chi is probably the closest one, but even that had a tie into the multiverse saga because Wong was in it, and so was the guy from the Mandarin, Trevor Slattery from Iron Man 3. It's like Shang-Chi was probably the closest we had to a standalone movie, but Fantastic Four actually delivered on that.
Yeah.
So please, MCU, keep doing standalone movies that are really great on their own, and then once you give us a set of characters that we really, really love and have felt invested in, then put them on the screen together.
Yeah, bring it together.
The payoff will be a lot greater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% agree. Amazing movie.
Great movie.
Yeah. And good use of end credits as well, I think. Because one was fun, one was for the story.
What was
The baby carriage one, where they were trying to get the baby carriage and the 3 guys trying to get the baby carriage and the
I related to that so much.
I was like, I bet Jorge really felt this. Like,
Yeah, I think the only thing that wasn't realistic was that nobody blew their top. Like, I think somebody should have been like cursing up a storm, like that would have made it more realistic. But yeah, it was really good. It was funny.
Yeah.
And there was one scene where like Sue Storm was like, he thinks the baby actually sleeps. Like, it's like, yes, they don't sleep. Oh man, anything else?
I think basically the same parting words as with Thunderbolts, right? This is a good stepping point, jumping off point. So keep the momentum,
Oh, that's good.
right? Keep the stories simple, keep it focused. Write the right story, write a good story, and people will watch it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you for joining in.
That's been the Deseret Real Chat special edition. Thanks, Sean. Thank you, Beef.
Well, this was fantastic.
Oh. Hey, you got 4 more of those jokes and we're done. All
See you
right.
guys next time.
See you later. Bye.